UKLC is presented by Barclays and Curry's PC World.
Hello and welcome back to the UKLC. We're getting ready to go into our second game of the day between Enclave and Barrage Academy. Now, Barrage 2 and 6 currently in the standings, while Enclave are at that top 5 and 2. They were technically tied with Munster and M&M, depending on obviously the outcome of today. But let's have a little look at this team, and let's have a little look at Barrage as well. What are the odds here? What are we liking about Barrage, and what do they need to do to win over Enclave Orcs?
I mean, they had a good week last week, but I wasn't completely convinced. They definitely showed a lot more, but I still think there's a ways to go. And I think that was sort of shown yesterday against the side of M&M. Obviously, M&M are a really strong team, but as are Enclave. And I think there were issues top lane for Akers. He kind of got a little bit handled heavily. I think Afro Boy started to look a bit messy again. He had a really good week last week where I was like, oh, wow, massive resurgence. I think KDO is legitimately a really top tier 80 carry, so I think he's one to watch. I think that could be the difference because we've seen Rabstar have some issues with positioning, and KDO tends to be like a really strong performer. So I think if Barrage come into this, if they pick up an Ezreal for KDO, if they have him in a spot where he can really go aggressive and not be challenged, and they can look to punish Rabstar, I could see Barrage taking this. I think it's just difficult. We saw the game against M&M where they just didn't find the momentum in the game up against them, and they needed to. Again, it was a scaling situation for M&M. But Enclave, I think there's a decent shot, but unfortunately, Enclave have sort of opted into a similar style recently with that lean on scaling. We saw Jacob play in the Azir and just able to farm it to be a monster. And that is my concern for Barrage. If they don't find that momentum, if we see, Jacob on a scaling champion like the Kassadin, and they run out of steam, this could just be another loss for Barrage.
Yeah, and I think also, remember we spoke to Shogun yesterday, and they were talking about how Enclave are kind of running double scrim blocks. They're putting a lot of work into improving because there were some issues and there were some worries. And I think yesterday, the improvement really was reflected from Enclave. Rabstar made a lot less positional errors. He kind of ran it down. He didn't run it down at all. Like we kind of almost expect him in lane. And it was a one moment from Rabstar. There was one moment, but we all get one.
Everyone gets one, yeah.
Yeah, but overall, the improvement you could see there was for Enclave. Enclave, there was improvement, and I was happy to see Rabstar, make a lot less mistakes, because when he's not kind of, making these positional errors, he is an incredible AD carry.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, is his peak is high. We've seen a lot of strong performances from Rabstar. It's just, I don't know if it's a disrespect thing, or it's just a losing focus thing, or maybe it's just a mechanical thing where he's just misstepping. I mean, it's hard to exactly say, but ultimately his positioning, typically before fights, that is where it's the biggest issue, where before a fight's been set up, he's just overextended, he gets caught out, and that is his fundamental flaw. And if he can get over that, if all this practice allows him to eliminate that, he will be a really good AD carry. It's just that one thing holding him back. And I think obviously they've worked a lot to try and fix that. Shogun's been a factor in trying to provide to help out his AD carry. And we're seeing yesterday, Rabstar has come strides. But I think that's sort of the difference right now between him and KDO. And I do think KDO is the best player in Barrage. I think he's a really strong AD carry. And if they can unleash him, maybe that is the window where they can look to find the advantage in this matchup. But I am going to say it is Enclave favored. They have sort of come back online. They are tied first with M&M, and we saw how dominant M&M have been. So I'm not holding my breath, but there is definitely hope for Barrage.
Yeah, I feel for me, while KDO is obviously the kind of like shining beacon for Barrage, Enclave they have Jacob in the mid lane, he's since coming off from last season where he had a really, really rough season over in the Nordics. He's looking really good on this roster. You have only Angel, who's a super experienced top laner up versus Akers. Shogun, a very experienced bot laner as well. There's a lot of different people on Enclave who, to me, can kind of carry this game. And that's where, if I'm Barrage, I get worried, because if KDO doesn't get unleashed, is Akers going to be able to match versus only Angel? Is Wojciech's going to be able to deal with Jacob in the mid lane? I just don't think they can.
Yeah, I mean, that's my big concern as well, ultimately, is there's a lot of factors on Enclave that favor them. And as much as the game yesterday wasn't super clean, wasn't perfect, they definitely had some issues. I think in particular, the early start was good, but the mid game was a little bit messy, and they gave over a bit too much to London. London are a strong team. They're not too far behind them in terms of the standings. And I think to have a close game versus them isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think at the end of the day, we're seeing a situation where, we're going to need a lot from Barrage to be able to challenge them here. And it needs to likely come from the early game because Enclave will lean into the scaling. And that is my big concern because if you slip up, if you make a mistake, we saw it just happen last game in our matchup up against M&M. We saw Bulldog not able to find the momentum. And it meant that no matter how many windows they were given, how many sort of little fights had come out ahead in, eventually the scaling kicked in. In that game, it was the AP Cogmore. In this game, it could well be something like the Caston or the Azir that we've seen Jacob lean towards.
Well, we'll have to see what gets left open and what gets picked up. Guys, we are going to cut to a quick break. And when we're back with champ select in the game for Enclave versus Barrage Academy. We'll see you after this break. Hello and welcome back to the UKLC. We're getting ready to go into game number 2. And looks like we are into champ select between Enclave and Barrage Academy. Enclave on the blue, Barrage Academy on that red side. Now, Senna is going to be the first ban here from the side of Enclave. Kind of targeting out towards KDO and a Packer there.
I am forsaken.
Too many surprises with the Varus. I'm wondering, I would actually like to see Enclave honestly prioritize Ezreal as a first pick. I don't think you need to ban it because I think Rabstar's fine on it. And it kind of puts Barrage in a difficult spot because they banned away these 280 carries. And Enclave haven't really put much to it at all other than that one center pick, which did kind of force the Varus ban because obviously we've seen Mad Lions in the LEC play the center Wukong into the Varus. So essentially forces that Varus. And it's interesting. There's still the Syndra up, obviously, which can be used for Jacob. There's the Calista, but most importantly, I think the Ezreal is a really pivotal pick for this situation. I think it allows Rabstar to play aggressive while also having that ability to get out of difficult situations. But it's also a huge pick for KDO. So I actually think Ezreal first pick makes sense for me in this specific matchup. But they're going to prioritize the set, and I expect
Always the set. Always
I expect
the
the
set.
Ezreal answer to come out for KDO.
All right, we'll see what Barrage want to go for here. Like you said, the Ezreal left open with the set first pick for Only Angel. Does leave that open. And question to me is, what has Rabstar got prepared for this? What does he want to play? Obviously, like I said, the Calista is open. So we could maybe see like a Calista TF rotation for Enclave if they want to go for that.
Yeah, I think that's a good sort of an opportunity to play heavily around bot and also potentially look to punish and apply that pressure. So if they are wanting to lean more into the early game and more aggression, they could go for that. But ultimately, Barrage get some nice picks here. They get the Trundle, which is obviously a strong early game champ for Afterboy with a lot of consistency. And the Ezreal for KDO is just very much a signature pick for him. So nice pick up there. Calista Thresh, Calista Nautilus, both options for Enclave here. or they could just go in a completely different direction and maybe lean on something like the Ashe, which we've seen had a resurgence recently.
Well, it looks like actually it's going to be the Kaiser. Been a while since we've seen that. Could just go with that Nautilus. The Kaiser Naut was kind of the old classic bot lane for them. Obviously, so easy to kind of apply those Kaiser stacks. So that is going to be the bot lane for Enclave. And now Barrage probably looking to try and pick up their support here before things get banned away to deal with this.
So I've seen a lot of people talk about the Kaiser into the Ezreal, because obviously if you land the Void Seeker or if any CC lands, you can essentially just dive in and you'll always win the 1v1 against Ezreal unless he's mega fed. So an opportunity to punish is obviously an all bot lane. We still have a lot of efficiency when Kaiser is very much in the meta. And it basically means that Nautilus can always land CC with depth charge and then Kaiser follows up. But they're going to have a bit of a range discrepancy seeing this Ezreal Azir come out from Barrage Academy.
Yeah, there's the Captain and Vel'Koz banned away. The Gangplank and Braum as well from Enclave. It's kind of rattling through this picks and bans. Now, over to Barrage, looking to pick up most likely their support here and then get the counter. Actually, they don't have to go for their support here either, to be honest. They've got the world's kind of open to them.
I like the Rakan. I think Yuumi is too risky in this situation. She's also just been nerfed, and as much as she's still niche in certain situations playable, I think her power levels dropped heavily. And even so, even pre-nerf Yuumi is very dangerous in this lane. So I like the safety of the Rakan, and obviously frees you up for that potential counter pick to give Akaz a good lane matchup to bounce back from that game yesterday. Corki makes sense as the Azir. Not too many surprises there. Kind of solidifies some scaling elements for Enclave as well. And then I'm not too sure about the Olaf here. Not a big fan of this into the Trundle specifically.
Yeah, Trundle used to be a counter to Olaf. It's kind of why he bounced back up. So, bit of an interesting pickup, but Rafa wants to go for the Olaf. He played it yesterday. Looks like he feels comfortable to go for that today. There's a lot of mixed damage here for Enclave with the Kolki and the Kaiser. I'm expecting to this be that kind of Manamino Rage Blade, then kind of full AP Kaiser build, which we've seen so much of before she kind of fell out of the meta. So there's a lot of mixed damage between Enclave here. And obviously that does mean they'll be able to kind of cut through these frontliners. But now Barrage, they know that it's definitely the set in the top lane. So they pick up the Gnar. It's a very spicy pick bans, actually.
Yeah, I actually like the Gnar. It's made a little bit of a resurgence. I've seen people picking it up more because obviously you got some buffs to the mini form, a bit more attack speed. This is actually a really rough lane matchup for the set because obviously if you can't get on top of the Gnar, you're going to have a bad time. You do have the opportunity to CC him, but it's short range. You'll often just bounce away. So Akaz really can have a field day in this top lane as long as he has control over the wave and he doesn't get dived. Ultimately, I'm pretty happy with what Barrage Academy got out here. I think Enclave, I'm a little bit concerned just I don't like the Olaf and the Trundle so much. I think you had other options there. And I think as well, the Azir is going to be able to find priority early. And then you're able to play around that. So it is a situation where Barrage Academy are looking to spike earlier than the side of Enclave. But both teams have pretty solid late games. So quite evenly matched in that regard. But I think out of the draft, Barrage have a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, you called it. I to be honest, I like both teams, but yeah, they have obviously got that Ezreal Azir, giving him a lot of range and also gives him some pretty decent scaling options. But then again, you got the Corki, you got the Kaiser scaling on both sides realistically here. The top lane's going to be interesting to me because we've seen a lot of things picked up into the set. The Gnar can kind of just keep him at arm's length, and even if he does get into range, if you go mega, you can just whack him into the wall and start kind of just smacking down on him. So it's actually quite an interesting lane. He's gone for the fleet footwork on the Gnar. It's giving him more sustain versus only Angel. Sometimes we see the press the attack. Sometimes we see the grasp the undying. So a lot of different things that can be picked up onto him. But fleet footwork obviously does just give him a lot of sustain in lane.
I think the movement speed is a big thing as well in terms of either kiting the set or chasing him down. It's a big factor. That was obviously one of the things that got changed up is a lot of attack speed for this now when he's in mini form. So he should just beat up on Only Angel. And also with the rise in Blade of the Rune King being built, it's pretty nice for the Gnar because obviously in mini form, you are essentially working like an AD carry in the sense you have that harass, that constant damage. But in mega form, you get the 12% that all the melee champions are taking it for. So you can do a pretty sizable amount of damage just whacking away at Only Angel with those auto attacks.
Alrighty, well, we take it on to the Summoner's Rift for our second game of the day. Enclave looking to remain tied up with Eminem and Munster. So a win here does mean they keep that going, but For the side of Barrage, 2 and 5 in the standings. They're currently 1 off demise. A win here will allow them to try and catch up with these front runners. Everything in the UKLC is just so close between the teams.
I think this is probably... I mean, obviously we had a big gap with the Bulldog game, but this is still a pretty big gap between these two. As much as Barrage has been climbing up, there is still a lot of points to score before they really close up on the likes of Enclave, who are tied first.
Oh. The power of the face breaker early. They do go even, but Hackers will be kind of okay with that. Can just keep him at range, obviously. With the grit on Only Angel, we can just sustain up. Looks like he's actually just going to cheekily spot out where Afro Boy is. Places the ward, so they now have the information, but Afro Boy is starting blue side.
Yep, you can see the warning ping comes out. No leash, so otherwise there wouldn't be the information on where Afro Boy is. Obviously, a lot of strength in this champion. We saw yesterday Trundle go super aggressive against an Olaf, challenge early, and actually managed to get a solo kill in the jungle. So there's potential for something like that, but it's kind of been denied by showing where it is. And Alpaca just taking a really bad trade there.
That's the Kaiser Nautilus. The hook lands. You apply those plasma stacks, and you just pop someone. Level 1, massive advantage here to the Enclave bot lane.
But it's just rough. And it's one of those things where the safety of the Ezreal Rakan kind of spikes at level 2. Level 1, you can see the Kaiser Nautilus challenge you. It's a little bit similar in top lane. At level 3, the Gnar really safe, able to put a lot of damage down as well. So that's when Akis will feel comfortable, but he's got priority in the lane, so he's feeling pretty good already about this one.
I've actually never seen that skin in game.
Really?
Yeah. I don't really see that much more Gnar, to be honest, anymore.
Yeah, it's kind
The
of
Mega
dropped
Gnar
away.
looks awesome.
I think there's situations where he is pretty solid in terms of just the laning pressure you can have. And obviously, we do tend to see more teams focus around bot lane, which is why there's less sort of priority on this champion. But if they're picking something like the set and you can just give them an awful time. I mean, look at this. What can you really do?
Yep, he's even able to hop away from the shield, and the true damage part of the Haymaker actually just dodged the entire ability. Once you got those hyper procs coming in. But looks like Shogun's looking for something onto Wojux. Wojux should just be able to kind of shuffle his way out, though. Has got his jungle at his back.
I like
Shogun
the
with
roam.
that
I like,
early roam.
yeah, I like the idea of it. Also helps to secure that topside scuttle. Because essentially Afro Boy's not going to contest when he knows that Nautilus is here. And that's important because typically with the HP that the Olaf is at, with how healthy the Trundle is on his clear, that could have been very much a scuttle taken there by Rafa. So I like the play as much as it didn't amount to the kill. And we did see a Cheetah recall come out in the bot lane from Rabstar to get that cull, but now they're looking for the dive.
Yeah, he's ignited, trying to jump away. Has already used that flash, gets exhausted by KDO. The pillar separates Rabstar from anywhere safe. Tries to speed up, but that's first blood. KDO will get followed up, though. Rabstar able to answer out. 1 versus 3, can be pretty happy with at least answering out the kill for himself. But he loses a pretty big wave.
Yeah, I mean, the denial from Rabstar's big, but so he does miss that wave, but he does just get to TP back in. Ultimately, I'm questioning why Afro Boy didn't just take the kill, because by leaving it for KDO, KDO got tower aggro, and he was low enough that it would kill him. That was the mistake. I like the play, I like the dive. They see Shogun's roam, they look to instantly punish on that one, and Rabstar does end up going down. But if Afro Boy just took the kill there, they get out, they don't trade 1-for-1, so a little bit off there, but the end result is they still do manage to deny quite a bit.
We saw that actually yesterday from Shogun as well, roaming up to mid lane early. It's what we wanted to see from him yesterday, and let's do the same thing today. Now, Enclave getting some priority around this bot side. They want to try and get this early Cloud Drake if possible. There is vision placed down by the Crab and that ward, Rafa. Now, I'm not feeling particularly comfortable to actually stick around. With Wojux back in the mid lane, with his bot side having to go answer the wave, it's just going to step away.
Yeah, I think it's risky to go for that, especially with the scuttle up when you know they have full vision on you. It's just a bit of a dangerous one. Now they've established bot lane priority again, you can look to push up. Reset has come out from Afro Boy as well, and they have good vision, and the scuttle is timed out. So now is where they feel a bit more comfortable going for this one.
They are still on a ward.
Oh, sorry, hasn't timed out, but
Almost timed out.
yeah.
Now, Barrage actually still looking to contest this here. This should just be the Dragon getting picked up. The knockup lands as KDO gonna get CC'd a little bit here. Rabstar trying to put the damage in. Will proc the passive and do a lot of damage to KDO as he has to flash away. Rabstar got no summoner spell, so he will just be chopped down as Wojak secures the kill. Teleport comes in and only Angel, he's not done. The hooks are going out. He throws out the showstopper, gets popped back by the ultimate. He flashes forward with the haymaker, trying to get the damage into Wojak as Jacob comes to mop up. Barrage turned that play back around on its head, finding himself another 2 kills.
Yeah, Enclave really finding that one. The TP from Only Angel, the saving grace in that situation. And it's what you should be looking to do on this set. You're not really going to have much headway in the 1v1 against a Gnar. So take those opportunities to punish. And considering that, you know, they already had the Dragon for Enclave, it was going to be a 1-for-0 in favor of Barrage, though. But they managed to answer back with 2 kills, thanks to that really nice engage from this set. So good to see. And it's the sort of mindset you need to have. Yes, they've taken this Gnar. Yes, he's going to bully you in lane, but when he TPs in, unless he has Mega ready, he's just not going to be able to have that immediate impact we saw there.
Now, I did kind of want to hit a little bit on Rabstar's items right now, because at the moment, he doesn't really have any major components. He's got the Coal, got the Doran's Blade, got the boots, whereas KDO is closing in on his Manamune. So already kind of a bit of an advantage getting picked up for Barrage Academy. Obviously, Rabstar kind of getting caught out and forced to recall at inopportune times. The first blood happened just after he went for a cheetah recall, so he had no more money to spend, even with him getting the return kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's typically going to be the critical factor, but ultimately, if you go on the Manamune build on the Kai'Sa anyway, you're always going to be slower at stacking than KDO. An early tier doesn't actually matter that much because you don't really stack it fast. Ezreal or the early tier is a big deal because you can stack it so quickly, but with Kai'Sa, it's like, well, it's whatever. The Manamune is where you start actually getting the numbers down, so... I mean, it is awkward reset timings, but he would likely, if he had better reset timings, he would just have a pickaxe here instead, which, again, it wouldn't make a massive difference in terms of hitting your power spike. It would just mean you have more power now. And with the way things are going, they're looking to instantly challenge because double exhaust actually from the bot lane of Barrage with the summoner spellbook from Alpaca, and just the safety to this lane does make it a little bit tricky to force a 2v2.
Now, Rafa actually looking to get himself the Rift Herald for his team, even with no swaps coming down. Package is up, but I don't actually know if Jacob has it, so he might not be able to roam down in time. And Afroboy looking for a dive, but there's a level 6 on to the Kai'Sa. He got a lot of CC to work with. The teleport's getting used, and Shogun now looking to try and put some distance out, but he is going to get taken down. KDO secures the kill. Teleport brought down, and Barrage go just for 4 for 2. Dive in the bot side, and they're going to find themselves an easy kill. Only Angel will get some free time on this tower, and with the Rift Herald, this could just be first turret blood.
Yeah, this is actually pretty good for Enclave overall. The TP gets burned. Shogun was dead anyway. Shogun was just down. The TP was not a factor there, and it means that they're actually just going to be able to take this tower top lane, and Barrage Academy are going to be pretty slowed down on this one. Shogun's coming back to lane. Ult there for Rabstar means it's actually quite hard to kill.
Rabstar able to jump away, gets the hook
Nice
off.
intro.
They do get the snare and the charm onto Rabstar. Rabstar's trying to get away, but he can't do it. KDO secures yet another kill. Enclave, their bot lane is being heavily punished right now.
Yeah, just as I'm saying, this is pretty good for Enclave. Rabstar decides to step up again and gets taken down. It was a nice response from Barrage Academy, but ultimately, the end goal was a turret, and it hasn't gone down. But you will see the goal is pretty even because of all those kills picked up, and KDO has a massive advantage on this Ezreal, and that is going to be so relevant in this game. It's a really great champion for him. I think KDO, arguably one of the best Ezreals in the league, and to have this much of a lead already, he'll have that Manamune completed, he'll have a Sheen as well, and he's really going to be able to start putting the hurt down on the enemy team.
Now, you can see that Jacob is up over Wojak. It's only a minor lead, but he does have a lead building towards that Manamune of himself. He will be able to pick it up on this base.
This League of Manamune.
There is a lot of mana in this game.
And I think it's kind of showing, I mean, it's obviously the build past these champions go, but I think it's showing that the scaling is very relevant for a lot of these champions. The Corki, Azir, Kai'Sa, Ezreal, all will be really big factors in these late game team fights. Kind of just sort of comes down to how they get there. Dragon spawning in 10 seconds, and I think Barrage Academy, they feel confident to look for this one. They have KDO feeling really strong right now compared to Rabstar.
Oh, they're looking to jump onto Rabstar. Rabstar doesn't have that flash. A good pillar by Afro Boy could just be the end of days for Rabstar. KDO doing so much damage to him, and that will force him out, but Jacob has the pillar. Not the pillar, the package.
Yeah, and that's a scary thing, but chunking Rabstar out before the fight, definitely a nice thing to do if you can find that angle. They have priority in mid lane as well in favor of Barrage Academy, and now you can see Jacob goes to answer the wave, allows Akers and Wojux to push in. Now, unfortunately, Akers has just hit Mega Gnar, so not going to be super useful, but the package is down, so I actually think Barrage Academy can take this one.
Yeah, this could just be their moment. Rafa already very low. Has to use that Ragnarok. They do go in for the charm onto 2. Trying to get some damage off onto the backliners. In comes Rabstar looking for KDO. Slides in with the ultimate. Looking for that 1v1. They've got the CC to work with. Rabstar gets caught out by the pillar though. He can't close in onto KDO. Is able to get the pop in time as the shutdown's picked up for Shogun. Enclave just bite off way more than they can chew. And Barrage will take the Mountain Dragon.
I just think it was a poor fight to go for with regards to Enclave there. Your package times out. Mega Gnar is ready. They try and engage and it just fails. And you can see the thought process from the bot lane of Enclave. They picked this combination to punish the Ezreal. But ultimately, Rabstar is just a bit too weak. Trundle got in the way and reduced his attack damage as well. So he really wasn't working with much. And as much as Shogun finds the hero play with a beautiful stopwatch and a beautiful hook to finish off KDO, it's still very much Barrage Academy favored in that scenario.
KDO just going to collect a pretty big wave here in the top side. Already up significantly over Rabstar in the CS department and the kills.
Something we talked about, though, was the 80 carry difference could be a factor for Barrage here. And it feels like they've noticed that as well, and they're really playing to cement KDO as a strong factor in this game. And it's evident from what Enclave have gone is that they were ready for the Ezreal. They had a plan in place, but it just hasn't come to fruition here. And Rabstar has just fallen behind. And as much as Kai'Sa will be relevant later on, Ezreal is still a menace for a pretty long time, especially when you have champions like Olaf, Nautilus, and Set who are just going to struggle to even get near him.
Well, the next item for Rabstar is going to be that Gwynzoo's. It's a pretty expensive item for him. KDO looking to go for the Triforce build, not the Iceborne. So also has a pretty expensive item, but kind of every component of the Triforce is a much bigger spike than just the components for the Rage Blade.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it makes sense because you want to remain relevant longer as the Ezreal. And there isn't really many AD threats on the other side. The main threat later on is going to be that Corki and the Kai'Sa who do a lot of AP damage. So yeah, a lot of fishing around the bot side of the map. There's really an objective to play for here, but you can see Barrage Academy trying to lean towards KDO, and that's what they're playing for. Afro Boy is just here trying to assist the team. Now, actually, Shogun is looking for a potential flank here.
Yeah, KDO actually will take the Haymaker to the face. And the Angel did a pretty significant amount of damage. He hasn't actually got a full item for himself either, as it is, but Shogun is looking for that opening. Rafa at the back, only Angel going to take the Q as that showstopper to him as the hook lands in onto Alpaca. Alpaca jumps away. The face breaker not going to land in time, and only Angel just getting poked out once again. Finds a Q off onto KDO.
This could be a very different scenario if there was TPs available and a ward in place. Obviously, there is TPs for Enclave, but there's no ward in place. Afro Boy cleared that out, and we could have seen something come down there where the flank comes in. Ultimately, potentially could get countered by the likes of Akers and Wojux, but you can see both teams fishing, but Enclave unwilling to step up in this 3v3 with how strong KDO is and how unable they really are to challenge him. So they're just going to be able to pick up the tower, and Barrage Academy looking in a pretty solid spot right now.
Enclave are just looking to farm up. The gold lead is 100 between the two teams.
Not much at all. I think we can take a look at the gold individually and sort of see where that stacks up, because obviously, you know, you have a lead on the Olaf, you have a lead in the top lane thanks to those plates and the kills for the set. But 1,500 lead between these 80 carries is just pretty staggering, and especially as Ezreal stacks the Manamune so much faster. He was already stacking it up earlier when it was a tier, and obviously he got the tier sooner. So KDO will spike a lot sooner than Rabstar, even without the gold difference, but even more so here. And so having that goal differential on top of the fact that he's going to be stronger is just really a little bit concerning. I mean, you can see in the items now, we have full, about to hit 40% CDR for KDO when he hits level 10 for that Transcendence. Actually, no, he had the boots, so he doesn't have Transcendence, but he's still got 30% from his items. He has the Mana Immune closing in on being stacked. He's in a really powerful spot. And I think Enclave just need to play a little bit respectfully. I do like that they keep putting Rabstar in side lanes or using mid before to get solo XP. I think that's nice. He's not strong enough to join fights. You can play more around likes of Only Angel and Jacob. So I think they should just keep this up as much as they can.
That's what they're also doing the same to Jacob. They know that these two scale incredibly hard. So they want to just funnel as much gold into Jacob and Rabstar, also funnel as much experience into them as much as possible, and just let Only Angel absorb pressure from the rest of the team. They know he's comfortable to kind of farm with Shogun at his back, so for the moment, Rabstar is going to have to go back towards the mid lane. KDO is here, and it looks like Shogun's going to join him. Rafa actually looking to try and start up this second Herald, and there is actually no one in position from the side of Barrage Academy, so this should just be free for Enclave. However, that Infernal Drake is spawning up, so this is going to be the trade of objectives. Infernal Map's very, very nice for Ezreal. Can proc that fairly easily with his Q.
Yeah, just a huge amount of damage available. And I think when scaling is close, a dragon like Infernal, the soul for it in particular, just means it can potentially push things in one team's favor pretty heavily. And I think it's good that Barrage Academy are prioritizing that when I'd arguably say that, you know, the Ezreal and the Azir do spike earlier than the Corki and the Kai'Sa. And you want to play around those spikes.
Is that Rafa maybe looking to put the Herald down in the top lane and just try and crack open a tier 2 there? Feels like they're not in a position to actually contest the mid lane turret at the moment with the Herald. For now, actually, it looks like he's just going to go back towards his jungle and get some farm. Rabstar also farming up the jungle on the Kai'Sa. Closing in on that Rage Blade, which would be a really, really nice pickup for him.
Definitely will. I think at that point, especially if you have it stacked up and then you dive in on the Ezreal, really hard for the Ezreal to contest a 1v1, even if he is ahead. And that's why it's important KDO has got the exhaust for those specific situations when Rabstar dives onto him. It's a pretty useful one. Now, Aka's looking for Only Angel here.
Yeah, he gets the slow off with the boulder. And the Angel goes in for the Haymaker. So the Face Breaker puts up the shield. Alpaca's coming in. Only Angel flashes away. The pillars on the subjugates there, but Jacob teleport. Too much to threaten. And actually, this does allow Enclave to get the charge out from the Herald and crack open this turret, which has been a good hiding spot so far for Barrage. Shelly won't get a second charge out as KDO is able to shift in and get the position off. And now Enclave, they have to be a little careful. Rabstar is going to dodge away from the quickness charm, but Wojux is coming in on the flank with the Sarima Shuffle. Might see if he can find himself a little something. It's half health by Rabstar. Barrage now brute forcing their way through the mid lane. They've got Jacob, they've got Rabstar though. They should just be able to clear out the waves in time with the rockets and the Acafian Rain. And Enclave are able to hold their turret. So Barrage overall, they lose out on the play.
Yeah, I really like Enclave's reaction to TP up to keep Only Angel safe. And then they respond with that instant mid push. And it was one of those situations where it's kind of hard to prevent that from ever happening because of the Herald. But it was a good timing for it from Enclave, and it means Barrage Academy don't get as much as they want now. Only Angel looking.
He can't actually find it over the wall. He really wants it.
Now you know why sets always take Hex Flash when they play support.
Feels set, man.
2 Mana Immune spiked. It's the Corki and the Ezreal right now. See, Ezreal does have that Triforce as well, so looking really powerful, but Rabstar's still quite a bit behind. Do you see the Black Cleaver from the Gnar? So ultimately a better team fighting build than, say, the Blade of the Moon King. Still does fine in the side lane against the set, but ultimately it's for being that bulky threat in those team fights.
Rafa's jungle is now just being stripped from him. He is up over Afro Boy in CS, but constantly Jacob and Rabstar are just farming away. Now that's the Guinzoo's picked up for Rabstar. The Maroon Mana fully stacked on KDO though. He's also now starting to build towards his Death Stance. I'm not sure if it's enough to upgrade Rabstar's Acafian Rain yet though. I don't know how many stacks he's got.
Yeah, it has upgraded it.
Oh, it has, yeah. There you go.
I mean, there's just so much attack damage from the Manamune, and especially if you get Presence of Mind stacks is a really big thing.
Yeah, I'd assume he's running Presence of Mind here.
Yeah. So it does say 0, but that's how much mana he's got, not how much total mana he's stacked up. He has a kill and 2 assists, so he'll have an extra 300 mana. And with the Manamune, that does end up working out to be a fair chunk of AD.
Jacob has to be a little careful. Does have a fair amount of wave clear. Afroboy not really feeling the dive onto the 2-item Corki.
Yeah, a little bit harder to execute on, especially when Corki has that flash. A lot of damage in return. TP is up for Only Angel, but things have been quite slow. Not too much has happened, and I think that's kind of a symptom of a game where both teams are somewhat confident in their late game scaling. But we do see that Dragon in 30, and that's where the pressure is really on, because if Enclave give this one over, every single Dragon from then on out is potentially a soul for Barrage Academy. So Barrage instantly trying to get control over this area. You do actually see in the river, there's a line of wards kind of past the river that Barrage haven't swept out. So,
and Only
kind of
Angel
through there
can abuse that. We've seen some really good flanks from him this game and across the UKLC.
We just see that nice trio there of wards that really, they give a lot of information, even though obviously it's sort of dark in the river itself. Gives a really good flank angle. Now, Akaz is moving down. He has just hit Mega Nast. That'll be off on a timer. But Only Angel is here. He's turned up. We do see Jacob.
Oh, they get the hook onto Alpaca into the depth charge, but Alpaca's out. Jacob has the package, and actually, I don't think that means that Barrage are really going to want to take this. Jacob chunking out Afro Boy. The Dragon's going to get secure, but the fight is on. Shogun gets charmed up as Alpaca goes gold in the middle of the team. Jacob has that package, hasn't thrown it down yet. The showstopper's there. A double kill has been picked up onto Akaz. Wojok's now taking a lot of damage. Ravstar slides in, interrupted. The double kill is there. Akaz gets the blast cone, and Jacob is out, but Barrage find the team fight.
Yeah, I mean, the focus there for Enclave was get the Dragon, try and get out. But Barrage, they back away, let them corral in, and their focus was the fight, and they took it. It was some nice execution there. KDO never really challenged, and ultimately, a poor timing for Rabs to try and dash in. Jacob goes untouched, so that wasn't quite enough. Now, TP coming in from Alpaca. He has switched to that, so he's going to be able to help keep them sustained. A lot of healing for the Rakan, but Corki's coming, and Only Angel's TP is soon, so this is going to get a bit scary.
Yeah, already Afro Boy gets chunked out by Jacob. Akaz as well.
That's smite
Jacob's
down. Yes,
just
smite
layering the rockets in. Shogun looks to jump in forward. They are able to secure the Baron, but the health bars are low. And now Enclave are looking to try and go for the fight here. Looking for that Void Seeker from Rabstar as KDO has to flash over the wall. Only Angel and Rabstar don't have the movement speed, don't have the ultis available, so they can't close that gap. And they will force them away. Barrage lose their support, but they will get Baron onto 4.
I mean, that was just so... Oh, Afro Boy could be in trouble.
Yeah, Only Angel. Showstopper's now up and available to him, so he's going to use it to get away from the turret. Haymaker will secure the kill. Akaz teleports in, and now actually looking to find something onto Rafa. Mininar able to do a lot here. About to go Mega, so he could just get the big Gnar off. Not going to get it.
I mean, that was
Another member of Barrage lost.
That was so risky for Barrage Academy, but it just worked out so well. I mean, you saw Afro Boy having to smite for health, so they didn't have it for the Baron. Jacob tried to steal with a rocket, but KDO ultimately secured it. And then, I mean, Akaz recalled in the pit. KDO managed to flash out and get the blast cone. It was really just a heist situation from Barrage, but they get the Baron, they get away, so credit to them for finding that one.
So this mid lane turret going to get sieged up by the Baron minions. Jacob and Ravstar going to do their best to just try and force the minions away. As this Kai'Sa is actually one of the few champions who's actually really, really good at taking down Baron minions. You can see the gold graph on your screen though. Slowly coming back in favor of Barrage after Enclave did have a pretty significant lead at one point. But it is still so close between them. 200 gold separates our teams right now.
Well, you see Rabstar go in the Nash's build path with that Stinger, so it does mean they're going to be very heavy AP in the later stages of the game, and I think that makes itemization pretty simple. If Afro Boy picks up an Adaptive Helm, KDO can even invest further after the Death Stance, especially going like a Hex Drink into a Maw, it'll make him extremely hard for Rabstar Jacob to really challenge in the later stages. And we've already seen with the Conqueror Death Stance combo how tanky these AD carries can get.
Yeah, Jacob taking a lot of damage from Wojux as well. Getting just poked out heavily. For Only Angel, it feels like they just got to wait out this Baron, but what can Barrage get in the time? They're going to get a tier 2 mid as well as that tier 1. So suddenly the gold lead starting to swing towards that 1,000 gold mark in the favor of Barrage, and Enclave may just lose yet another tower here topside.
A lot of siege and power on this side of Barrage, and that gold picked up. They are just going to reset, still have some time on the Baron, but ultimately the big focus here is that Dragon. Both teams at 2 apiece. Would be soul point for whoever gets it and put a ton of pressure in the enemy team. So you'll see them reset and head down towards that. KDO is going to pick up the red buff, and this is a small window where Enclave can push out and try and establish some vision.
Got that Dragon spawning up in a second. It's 2 apiece. Whoever gets this puts themselves 1 off that Infernal Soul. There's definitely going to be a contested Dragon between these 2 teams. I believe the package will actually be up in time for it.
Yeah, this is a really common thing for Corkies, is that they take the first package for the first Dragon, and then it syncs up for everyone subsequently. But that's actually a really nice ult to stall that out.
It's going to have to teleport now. Oh, no, yes, package should have movement speed.
Yeah, I mean, they can start it up, though, and force a quick engage to come in. So he will be able to just grab that one and fly over. But the Dragon's going to be started in a second.
Yep, he's going to move over. Looks like Enclave pretty slow to the mark. Akers has ultimate. That is just going to be picked up super easy by Barrage Academy.
Yes, a really nice call there from KDO to snipe out with that ult. Essentially, even if it only buys, you know, 8 second on the recall, that was enough. That was enough where Enclave didn't feel confident to push forward without the Corki, who is the strongest person on the team right now with so much farm and gold in Jacob's pocket. It just gave them essentially that free Dragon. So now 4.5 minutes before Barrage can potentially look for that soul, and it's really going to be a big threat onto Enclave. But we have 1.5 minutes until Baron. Things are a little bit slow again. Not looking for much, although Jacob might be fishing.
Also, though, this does mean now Jacob won't have package for the Baron if there is a little bit of scrap around there. Rabstar got the Nash's Tooth, so has the upgrade on the Void Seeker, reducing the cooldown when you land it, also giving extra stacks as well, so we'll be able to pop his passive a little bit more effectively here. Jacob got the components for his Infinity Edge pretty close. About 1,200 gold away from being able to finish that item off. But for now, it feels like the game, again, the pressure, the memento is going to slow down. Only Angel goes for a face breaker. They do miss the voids. Where did that go?
It was invisible.
Oh, it was one of the invisible ones.
I mean,
not for the players, by the way. Just for the observer.
We had that spectator bug with Sivir as well, where the boomerang blade was invisible. This happens sometimes. Actually, I'm pretty sure we had it. I'm pretty sure we had it with the Kai'Sa specifically.
Yeah, we've had it over Kai'Sa before.
Yeah, and it kept. We'd see it fired, and we'd be like, "Oh, does it hit?" And then it would just like nuke the other person. Because he was that.
I don't know if he's in the nuking territory yet. I feel like he still needs one more AP item.
Perhaps I was gonna fish this one
out.
out.
He's gonna throw it out. Squires comes down, teleports here. Enclave, they're looking to fight. Ultimate gets used. They're going to look to try and steal it. That's the secure. Only Angel comes in with a slam dunk to follow up. Alpaca goes down. Rabstar untouched in the fight on that backline. The Shurima Shuffle will disengage Shogun. Only Angel needs to run away, and Shogun will get taken down. Enclave's members are starting to run a little bit low as Akers is chunking out Rapper and Jacob. The minion has revealed his location, but with the Baron recall, he might be able to get out in time. No, he cannot. The shutdown for Wojux. Akers gets the next one. Only 2 survive with the Baron for the side of Enclave.
And the steal was the big factor there for Rafa, because without that, this would just be disastrous. But ultimately, the members fall, and Barrage are looking to hammer down on the base now after this. They should be able to get an inhibitor here off the back of that one. Ultimately, Enclave rushed in to contest that, and they just focused too hard on the Baron and couldn't hold up in the fight.
Only Angel does not want to let this tower go down without a fight. Rabstar standing on the base, got Shogun at his back. He's now going to head out. That turret has survived for a long, long time. Only Angel goes gold, and Shogun coming in. No depth charge available to him. His health bar's low, and the True Shot Barrage almost finds the snipe. Only Angel survives. The Death Dance burn was so real there, but he was able to survive through it thanks to the Haymaker shield.
And not just a shield, also Set's passive regen when he gets that low on HP is something else. Oh, I got exciting for a moment there, Jake, but it's not going to stop now. No, a minute and a half until that dragon. That's sold for Barrage Academy. Enclave will have the extra stats from the Baron, but Barrage Academy is slightly ahead. Kaiser W does hit KDO, put some hit onto him.
Once again, hitting him, sniping him away, invisible. But he has so much life steal that you can't really poke him out too hard here, unfortunately, if you are Rabstar. And unfortunately, in that last fight, it just felt like Rabstar wasn't really able to do too much. Didn't want to enter into the pit and get himself caught out. He was able to at least maintain the Baron for himself, along with Only Angel, so...
I mean, the big thing was Jacob was zoned off so heavily by Akers, because Jacob is a person I'm looking to really be carrying these fights, and he just couldn't get in. There was that sort of assault on the Baron pit, and they just weren't able to find the window.
I hate this bug, man. This bug is so infuriating.
I think it must be when Kaiser evolves.
It's when it's evolved, yeah. Because it definitely wasn't invisible earlier.
Yeah.
Pillar comes out from Afro Boy onto Rabstar there, but this is Infernal Soul spawning up in the next 5 seconds. Package is onto Jacob. This dragon will melt. Already been started up. Gonna throw it down, and Jacob's onto that flank. It looks like it's time to go for the dragon. Again? One more steal! Once again! Coming up massive! Now Rabstar has to try and put that damage out. This time Jacob already taken down. Akers and KDO have survived for the moment, but Wojux will get taken down. And Enclave walk away with the fight victory. Walk away with the dragon. Rapper survives and steals yet another objective from underneath the noses of Barrage, and Rabstar slides in for the assassination, gets it off onto KDO. It's only Akers surviving, and Rabstar's doing a lot of damage to him. Will take a lot in return, however, and he has to walk away. Enclave will now try and crack open the base for Barrage.
I mean, there's just no way that should happen. I saw the dragon's HP go down. Afro Boy didn't pull the trigger and smite. Rafa did, and I guess that's the experience coming in, but it's a big hit. The Infernal Dragon would have been huge for Barrage Academy to get there. The fight obviously would be nice to win as well, but ultimately, when Barrage are trapped in the pit, but Enclave is steaming in, it just wasn't a good position for them to take that fight. That was a much more coordinated assault from Enclave. But the fact that they lost the Dragon as well is just such a hit there. Losing the Baron and then the Dragon definitely causing issues when Barrage really could have been in a much better position.
Absolutely. Zhonya's Hourglass picked up for Rabstar now, so he has even more safety. Maximum cooldown reduction as well.
Well, not quite maximum. He's on 30. But, oh, they're looking for him.
Yep, they're going to get the slow off. Rabstar does have that Zhonya's. He's going to use it. The rest of the team trying to get there in time. The True Shot Barrage, and Rabstar able to walk away with his life this time. Haymaker out by Only Angel, and now he's looking to try and get some damage onto Alpaca. He gets shut down though as KDO able to secure the kill. Jacob looks to come and mop up though. Gets a quick pick onto Alpaca. And Barrage trade 1-for-1. Support for top laner.
Yeah, a little bit messy there, the engage from Barrage, but ultimately Jacob wasn't there to assist. And they managed to take down Only Angel, even though he did a lot in return. Now they're looking further, but Rabstar's come back with HP.
Yeah, Shogun actually hooked in and maybe got himself a little bit doomed there. Rabstar has joined up with the rest of the team, and Shogun going to pop the blast cone to get away from Akers. Just about survives with his life. And I feel like that whole pick came off again at just an old school kind of Rabstar positional where he overstepped a little bit.
Definitely not had the best game in this situation. before getting picked out, but has shown the scaling start to come online with that earlier engage onto KDO where he took him out. That's where it starts to get a little bit concerning for the side of Barrage when Jacob and Rabstar are starting to pump out even more and more damage. Oh, positioning around Baron, and it looks like Enclave are trying to get some early headway on this. As the resets come in for Barrage Academy, Akka's getting chunked out there.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming out from Rabstar. Now level 17 on the Kaiser. So I'll have max points in his W. Actually, no, he maxed his E second, so he's got the supercharge maxed out. So one more level to go, and then he's maxed out the Void Seeker. Looking for Only Angel over the wall. Shogun has the depth charge. Only Angel got flash, should be safe. Takes a little bit of poke, but is a set, so he'll regen. Pillar goes out onto Shogun, and Alpaca's looking for that quickness charm, but instantly gets melted through. Shogun's able to secure the kill. Rapstar slides onto the backline with the ultimate. Incloves Only Angel onto Akka's. The True Shot Barrage is flashed away. Only Angel flashes into the backline. Haymaker secures the kill. Jacob and Rapstar still alive, still healthy to keep going. KDO does use that exhaust. Jacob now is going to have to be the one to mop this fight up as Rapstar is going so low, but he's able to survive with that supercharger. Jacob versus KDO. The battle of the ages. Jacob's out of there. KDO's too healthy. And it looks like Jacob is just going to have to run to the wind as Barrage look to hunt him down. Trying to steal up and get some lifesteal for himself. Has the blast cone to get over this wall. KDO is still hunting. True Shot Barrage coming up in a little bit.
He has to, because Jacob has TP. If he lets him come back and Jacob can TP in, he's going to be able to actually contest this dragon that's spawning in 20 seconds. So I understand the thought process from KDO stop that teleport in, but how close are these fights? And there were some big moments. Both top laners really making headway. Akka's with a massive ult into the wall, but Only Angel just executing Wojux. But ultimately, KDO and Jacob were the ones who survived till the end, and KDO just doing so much work on this Ezreal.
Junglers are beelining in. This is the package, I believe, on Jacob, actually, if we look at the timing. Only Angel goes in, goes out for that showstopper. The package is dropped, and this time, KDO can't go anywhere. Jacob takes down Alpaca. KDO doesn't mop up, and they find themselves a double kill. Rabstar now trying to secure this before Afro Boy can get there in time. He's unable to, throws out the pillar, but Rabstar slides in with the killer instinct and starts to cut through Afro Boy's health bar. He has got the blast cones to get away to safety as Afro Boy just about survives.
That could actually be enough just to go for the end in this situation, but I think without Jacob, they're a little bit hesitant to try and rush that one. They got the Infernal Soul, they got that massive benefit, and now they can look towards the Baron, and I think Barrage Academy just a little bit overzealous going for that one. You were still waiting for Afro Boy, you were still waiting for Akka's to respawn and TP in. They pull the trigger too fast, and they end up going down in their Enclave. I mean, they got this Baron, no doubt about that.
Yeah, just melt through at this point. It's a full build onto Rabstar on the Kaiser. His Zhonya's is back up and available. He's got the flash as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Jacob,
it's technically not a full build because you will switch out the Mortal Reminder for the Morellonomicon. I think he just finished the Mortal because he got the Executioners for the healing reduction, and then he just finished the Mortal Reminder because they were about to fight and he had the gold. But you don't want the Mortal Reminder. He's doing a lot more magic damage than physical at this point. I think the Morale is the better buy. Ultimately gives you some HP as well, which is nice.
We can have a little look at the goal quickly just to see. He's not quite got that Morello yet, and it looks like we'll just
pulled
stick
ahead of
with
everyone.
Finish item though.
I mean, it's him and KDO leading the goal, but Wojux and Jacob definitely relevant, and things are favor towards Enclave now. Kaiser, Corki really strong at this stage of the game. They have the Infernal Soul, they have the Baron. Barrage not willing to give up yet.
I was looking for it. Afro has to be careful. Gets face breakered in. Alpaca pops the quickness. Goes for the knockup, but the carries are alive. And Alpaca, it just goes pop. They throw the ultimate onto the backline. Shogun low HP. Akka's trying to dive in to kill off Rafa. And maybe another little member, but Rabstar full HP. Jacob fairly healthy as well. And it's Barrage getting chunked out by these rockets. The Infernal Soul doing so much work here. These turrets will get cut down so quickly.
Alpaca just needs to stop. He just needs to stop going in, play the peel game, keep KDO safe, wait for the fight to start, and then you can be that primary factor. Stop trying to engage because it is costing your team these fights.
Also, big props to Only Angel. Every time he jumps in, he instantly catches him with a face breaker before he can spread the charm across the team.
True. And I will say that we were focused on, the Ezreal, Azir, the Corki, and the Kai'Sa as it got later. For good reason, as you see that chunk out there. But Only Angel is keeping himself relevant and being massive in these team fights. So credit to him for still putting the head down on the set. But now they're trying to use the Baron to push in and catch the waves. KDO will reset and come back out on the map. It looks like Enclave not willing to push too much further. We're looking at 3 minutes on Elder, 3.5 on Baron. And it looks like Enclave just going to reset and wait those out.
Oh my lord, these W's are doing so much damage. Rabstar looks to go off. Hasn't quite got his the items ready, or the gold ready for the Morello Nomicon at the moment.
I mean, I'm hoping his game plan is to switch it out. Because if he doesn't, I'll be disappointed.
He's got a sorcery pot on at the moment, so he did spend some money on that. Again, obviously, just looking for as much immediate power as possible.
I mean, that was for the Infernal Dragon fight, so that's definitely a factor. Or maybe he's not going to switch it out, in which case I will say it's absolutely the wrong decision, because he's done a lot more magic damage right now.
Yeah, the extra pen available to him, it still gives him the grievous wounds. It's definitely the better build, but hasn't quite got the gold anyway at the moment, so we'll see what he does if he gets there. The moment I like the immediate kind of power buy he's gone for. Does miss out on that Void Seeker he threw down onto Akers. Afroboy potentially getting caught out here. Minute 50 until the Elder Drake spawns up. And Enclave, you know they're itching. They're feeling strong right now. They're feeling themselves. Now, see the gold on your screen swung back heavily in favor of the side of Barrage. Enclave. But to be fair, at this point, the gold lead's almost irrelevant. Both the AD carries are full build. Both of the mid laners are almost full build. Jacob just finished up his Death Dance, and Wojuk's one item to go, got the components. So the gold is as good as it gets, really, for the carries right now. It's only these kind of supports and tanks that are going to actually use this gold lead.
Stats on the Infernal Soul really the massive factor. You can see that burst is consistently coming out. It's helping with that poke now. They are looking.
Yeah, instantly goes out for the ultimate. Only Angel once again trying to catch out Alpaca. Alpaca is just melted as Only Angel secures the kill. Rapstar slides into the backline, trying to get the kills onto the members, but he has been caught out.
Nice.
Jacob comes in with the package. Here comes the mock-up. Here comes the tidy up. The carries are on the backline, and they're just cutting through everyone on Barrage. Wojuk tries to kill Rafa, but he's unable to do so as Jacob secures the double kill. Akers is just running to the wind as Rapstar will hunt him down, looking for the Void Seeker, but he is able to dodge away. Akers will sacrifice himself as he goes for the teleport, but Rapstar is going to try and take him out. Can't get the teleport in time. The ace goes through. And Enclave have looked to turn this game back in their favor, and it looks like they're going to close out here.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the engages have been a little bit whiff for Barrage. They keep trying to force them to Only Angel, and he turns it straight back around. And at this point, Jacob and Rapstar have outscaled, and they are just destroying. A pack is going to respawn, but it means nothing. Enclave take the game.
That was a close game, Orcs. Enclave are able to clutch it out, but that does not look like a team who are currently second from bottom versus one of our top teams. That was incredibly close.
Yeah, and the thing is, you got to think about the critical moments. Rafa stealing away the Infernal Dragon. Rafa stealing away the Baron. You don't want your game to come down to these moments. You want you to be able to say, we were winning the whole thing, and then we ended. You don't want to say, oh, well, it was looking really rough until you stole a Baron in a 50-50. So ultimately, I think there's two factors here. I think Enclave showing still a little bit iffy, especially Rabstar, as much as he came together in the later stages. Positioning needs work. Getting caught out, getting punished. But I think I got to say, Barrage are looking better. There's definitely some issues when they get to those late game team fights. It felt like the nerves were getting to them. Felt like the confidence wasn't quite there. And the decision making was a bit off. The engages, I'm questioning them. But this is still a good omen for Enclave. They've had a tough week in terms of who they're facing. They faced two of the top teams. Sorry for Barrage. Barrage faced two of the top teams, and they've held up pretty well. They may not have got wins this week, but I think it suggests they're going to be able to continue growing throughout the split in this second round robin and potentially challenge. If they can make playoffs, they will look like a decent side.
It's actually a really, really rough start for Barrage next week as well, because they're actually taking on Munster. So another one of our top teams. But I mean, at this point, it's like there's so many teams at the top. There's too many top teams tied at the top than there are tied at the bottom. It's incredibly, incredibly close between all of our teams. And I think Barrage, they can walk away, they'll be disappointed from that loss, but that was a performance of a team who definitely don't look like second from bottom. And I think it just speaks leaps and bounds for how close all of our teams are here in the UKLC. For the side of Enclave, there's still, they've put some work in. There has been, some good games for them, but they still have some ways to go. I feel like while they're at the top, there were a lot of weaknesses shown in that game. So we'll have to see, but we are going to cut to a quick break. And when we're back, we'll actually have Rabstar standing by for an interview. So we'll see you after this break. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the UKLC. We're getting ready to go into a little interview with Rabstar, the carry for Enclave. How you doing, buddy? You all right?
I'm okay. It was a pretty exciting game, so I'm still a tiny bit shaking.
Yeah, it was actually a really, really exciting game. We're having a little talk to you in the break just while we're getting set up for the interview. But I want to talk a little bit about the key moments that kind of really flipped that game for you. The Baron and Dragon still. what was going on with the comms? Who was kind of making the calls there? What was going on internally in the team during those clutch moments?
As we reset, we were like, they're gonna go for this objective on spawn. For the dragon, we knew that Rakan changed his summoner to smite, so we were like, okay, we need to like flip this, and we need to go in instantly. We're not gonna care about anything. We're just gonna TP in with package and just basically flip it. Which makes us sound like we're flippers, but
and you got heads, so it worked.
Yeah.
And something I want to speak about, because we talked to Shogun yesterday, and he talked a bit about how this week was a really intensive one for you guys. A lot of practice and a lot of work. What has it meant for you? Where do you feel like you've improved in this week?
I think I understand win conditions a lot more because I didn't show it this game because I entered like my first 3 deaths. But generally, it's a lot more controlled for me because I always want to fight, and I'm a lot more controlled in that sense. And I think generally we've kind of regained the basics that we had shown in the first 2 weeks with setting up a minute before objectives or whatever and being prepared basically.
So kind of while you're prepping for this game, did you actually expect Barrage to challenge you this much? Because obviously you guys are currently tied at the top, and Barrage are all the way at the bottom, second from bottom, with only 2 wins under their belt. Did you actually expect Barrage to challenge you that hard?
I think I made a lot of errors through lane, which made the game way harder than it should have, because I think our other 2 lanes were even, and that was winning for us because we felt that we have a better like fight and we outscale. And the fact that I got behind just meant that we have to wait until I have like 3 items to do anything. Otherwise, we're just chilling.
Are there any teams, I think particularly for me, Munsters looked really good. Are there any teams that you're looking towards and thinking they're the roster to beat?
I think maybe Munster or London, but I don't think we should care that much about other rosters more than we should care about how we're playing individually and as a team. Because I would do the same thing against any team, and that's solely on me. And I think all our mistakes are pretty like basic mistakes that can be fixed very easily.
So shifting away from teams, let's look at individual players. Are there any other AD carries that maybe you look up to, or you'd consider to be a rival in the bot lane?
In the league?
Yeah,
no.
in UKLC.
No, not at all. That sounds cocky, but it's not. I swear.
That's pretty spicy.
I'm very critical of myself, I think. But I don't feel like I misplayed lane a lot, so it's weird that I'm saying this after I lose lane.
So wait, do you think you're the best AD carry in the league?
Well, I don't know if Golden God is better, but laning didn't feel difficult against him. Like laning against KDO was harder, I guess. But even then, it doesn't feel like I'm getting pressured in any of the lanes.
So
Maybe
you think
Blue Spirits? I don't know.
So are you going to say, do you think you're the best?
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Okay, there we go.
I mean, like, it's a cool mix from you because you're kind of humble but also confident at the same time.
I think
I'm
the best, but I don't think I'm good, if that makes sense.
So you call every other carry bad? Is that what you're just saying?
I'm just digging myself a grave, yeah.
I love it. I really love it. Thank you very much, Rapstar. Now, guys, we are going to round out the interview there. We're going to get ready to go into our 3rd game of the day. It's going to be Munster taking on London. This is going to be a really, really spicy one, almost as spicy as Rapstar's comments. So we'll see you after the break.